All right, welcome to volume 1 of Uber Stories. So let me give you guys a little background if you don't know. I just started driving Uber about 3.5-4 weeks ago, and in just that short amount of time, I have found way more than enough entertainment to share with all of the world. Now, besides the fact that I can't remember the names, there won't be any names shared. And of course, privacy will always be kept for the passengers. But you can expect that more than likely every day I'll have a new story from when I drive. Because let me tell you, these people out here are nuts. But for the most part, everybody's pretty nice. You know, it hasn't been bad. I can tell you, I'd still recommend to drive for Uber. But, you know, hey, if you like interesting people, this is definitely the place to be. Now, just in general, I can tell you so far, the only main issue that I've had in the 4 weeks is the body odor. You deal with a lot of body odor in this job. You know, sometimes I feel like I should come to work with a hazard suit on, but, you know, I keep a little Febreze for some days, you know, and try to air it out. But oh gosh, man, it can get rough sometimes. Just to be blunt, it can get really rough. And it's not even that hot here, you know. But in any case, today's story, we'll talk about my first problem drunk. So one night, in my very first week, I was out on a Wednesday night. You know, I usually work after work, and I had a pickup from a bar. It just so happened to be, you know, I see some guys standing outside, and I'm just waiting for them to, you know, I'm thinking, you know, everybody's getting in. And a man runs up to the car. He's like, and keeps asking me for the address to make sure that it's correct. I'm like, yeah, that's the address that it says. And he's like, okay, hold on, I'll be right back. So he comes back with this guy. He's about probably like 6'1", 6'2", and at the time I was driving a Dodge Dart, and there was somebody in the back seat. So they bring this guy out, and they literally stuff him into the front seat. So I'm like, okay. They're like, oh man, don't worry, we got him drunk for his birthday. And I'm like, and these guys sent him home in an Uber pool. Now, for those of you who don't know what a pool is, it's you can share a ride with someone else. So they get him drunk. These are taxi cab drivers. For some reason or another, they decide not to take their man home. So anyway, they put him in. He leans in, puts the seatbelt on, and my man, he's just hazy. His eyes are low. And I'm like, all right, let's just get going. The two young guys in the back, they're just looking at each other like, oh man, it just got quiet. My man slept for 45 minutes. He drooled all over the seatbelt, but he didn't throw up. I kept the window down. You know, he was good. He was just a little older guy. But when we got there, I had to get him out. I had to unbuckle the seatbelt, peel him out of the car. I mean, like pull him up, put his arm around me, and walk him to his apartment, because he couldn't take a single step or he would have bust his head open on the sidewalk. And I mean, we teetered and tottered all the way to the building. But I guess he was sober enough to realize that I was at the wrong building first. And then we finally go over to the one next door. And it's like, oh man, why are you doing this? He had a Middle Eastern accent. And he was like, oh, you're such a wonderful guy. Oh man, he was just so happy, man. He gave me the biggest hug as he stumbled into his apartment and leaned against the wall so that he could get to where he needed to go. And that was within my first 5 days of driving. And I can tell you, it's only gotten more and more interesting ever since. But at least he didn't stink. I can tell you that much. So until next time, be prepared for your next Uber story.